You got so many backgrounds.
Sorry, I muted you while you were saying that. Yeah, I got a lot of backgrounds. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's see. I'm going to record on this computer. All right. Hi, this is Richard Roop with richardroop.com, and this is Tuesday bonus coaching open Q&A call. On the line, I got with me Damien. I'm going to make you a co-host. How are you doing? Right.
I'm doing good.
All right. So this is your opportunity. I don't have my headset, so let me know if you can hear me okay and all that. This is your opportunity to ask me anything about your real estate business, marketing, buying, funding, selling, the inner game mindset of success, leveraging yourself. All right. So Damien, are you going to help out? Maybe watch the chat and stuff? Is that the game plan? Okay. Okay. I can't hear you that well. All right. So I have some deals Eric wants to go over today. He's on the line. I'm going to do some deal structuring with him. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and open it up to everybody else that wants to, ask a question with me. It's like, how can I help you? Okay. So anybody that wants to ask a question. Hey, Eric, I see you're unmuted. How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
You wanted to go over your two deals today, right?
If we have time, sure.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take care of some other people because that'll take some time. So you want to, you'll hang out till then?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
Hey, Carol, how are you?
Hey. Good. Hey, I have a question. I'm having a delay. I bought my list from Listability, and I got in touch with Alyssa, and she gave me a quote. I sent her my stuff, and then I haven't heard anything back. I finally called the office today. I don't know if she's been out ill or what, but I haven't gotten a draft of the card to be able to get them sent out. So I contacted somebody in the office, and they said just send it to support, and they'd see if someone else on the team could help me with that because I want to get those cards out.
Okay. Why don't you send me an email with some of the details, like when you send it over to him. I'll call Tim. Okay, I'll call Tim today and find out what the deal is. But if you can shoot me an email, Carol, with some of the details of like, maybe a copy of the email you sent them and any other details I need, I'll take care of you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Any other? Oh, and by the way, Judith, she got her cards out, and so she got the list at listability.com/Roop, and then she mailed the magic book postcards through iNet USA, and she started getting calls. What is it? Yesterday, she got her phone started ringing yesterday, and she got 4 leads as of halfway through the day. So she was pretty excited. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, good. Okay, good. All right. Let's see. Who else has a question? Carol, you're still open mic. Anybody have a question? Go ahead and unmute. And you're more than welcome just to hang out and watch and everything and ask questions later. Okay.
I have a question about a house in my neighborhood that I might be interested in buying for me. And I've looked at the address, the owner. It looks like maybe, the owner's 91, so there's not going to be a lot of time to do any sort of structured deal.
Well, Carol, let me just stop you right there. You're putting obstacles where they don't actually exist. You're
okay.
That he's not going to take a long-term deal because he's 91. Okay, that is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. You're just making it up. Okay.
Okay.
You haven't confirmed that, so I would change your thinking on that. So go ahead.
And the research I've done, I find that there's a mortgage of about $100,000, which may be a reverse mortgage. The house is vacant. and has been vacant for quite some time. It's in a gated community, active 55 and older. So what would be my next step as far as reaching out and finding out if there is a viability of sale?
Well, why are you looking at this property? Where'd it come from?
It's in my neighborhood. It's one that I would be interested in buying for myself to live in.
Okay, you're buying for yourself. So it's not like you put out marketing and people are calling saying, yeah, I might be interested in selling, right?
Right.
You found a property that you want to find the owner, talk to the owner and see if they want to sell.
Right.
Okay. All right. And yeah, you would typically, unless it was a special circumstance like this, you wouldn't go research the property ahead of time. You just, I mean, the first thing you do is, maybe see if you can get a hold of the seller. And before I had to spend a lot of time researching it. But of course, if you do the research before you call, that puts you in a better position. And this is a special circumstance where you've identified a property. Because as far as the mortgage goes, the first indication of what's owed on the property is asking the seller, right?
Right.
So it's like, didn't you talk to the seller? And now I understand why. Okay. So can you just not look it up on Google and find their phone number?
I actually have a search engine that I use, and I will give them a call according to the phone number that's last listed.
Yeah. You can look up the owner and you can look up the owner's phone number. And then if you have to, you can skip trace them. It's in your neighborhood and it's vacant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would look up the mailing address on tax records or whatever and, send them a letter saying, if you can't get them on the phone. Okay. You might find that they own a local business or something. You can call them at work. So yeah, you go ahead and skip, look for the seller, see if you can get a hold of the seller or the owner. And okay, so again, you come up with this notion that it might have a reverse mortgage. Why do you think it has a reverse mortgage?
I don't really know that. It's just because it's been vacant. There hasn't been any for sale signs on it. And I know that there's another property in our neighborhood that was a reverse mortgage that actually went over to the bank.
Right.
But when I did kind of a skip tracing, it looked like I found a mortgage amount of 100,000. It may just be that's their pay down. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't matter. I mean, you need to ask the seller.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because what's good is it's a vacant house. That's great. Yeah, track down the sellers for sure. Track down the sellers of vacant houses. Ask them if they've ever considered selling, right? And tell them you're looking to buy in the neighborhood. And in your case, you could say you want to buy one personally or whatever. But a reverse mortgage, if they move out of the house, the loan becomes due.
Mm-hmm.
So if it does have a reverse mortgage, then the lender can start, if they haven't already, a foreclosure process, or they might try and get, for a period of time, they'll try and get the property, from the people, because they have to live in the house for otherwise, once they move out, it becomes due. They have to pay it off. Okay. And how much do you think the property's worth?
Oh, well, they've been jumping up in price like crazy. I would say probably 345 maybe.
Okay, so if they owed 100, you'd buy it for at least what they owe. You'd be willing to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it has equity. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So for sure, yeah, I would track that down. What other questions you have on that?
Well, I'll contact the seller and then I'll give you a call and see if there's anything that we can do. I'm locked into my rental for another year. So what I may have to do is try to buy it on terms and then put a tenant in there to cover whatever for a year until I can move in.
Yeah. But yeah, first you got to find out if they're interested in selling.
Right.
And if they have no interest, then you just follow up. Okay. And if they do, then you can gather information so we can do some deal structure, right? And tell them what we can do. And then when we do the deal structure, we work on your exit plan. Now, if it's 55 plus, then if they want to sell, then you ask them, are there any restrictions for me renting this before I move into it myself, right? Because there might be homeowners dues or regulations, association rules. You might not be able to rent it out, but that's something that you don't have to research that until you find out, it's something you might be able to buy, right?
Right.
Okay. What other questions you have on that?
I think that's it for now.
Yeah, and you told me that one of your goals was actually to use this model, this investing model to find a house for you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Any other houses in the neighborhood you drive around, and any other vacant houses?
Very, very few. There is one across the street from me, but it's one, actually there's two on my street. One I know was a reverse mortgage that went back to the bank when the owner died. And then there's a rental down the street that the tenant had to move back out because her Alzheimer's progressed to the point where she couldn't stay there by herself. So, but yeah, this is the prices are, I mean, houses have gone up $100,000 in the past year.
What market?
This is Denton,
Denton.
Texas. Denton,
Tex-
Texas. Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's a active 55 community.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The prices have gone crazy high. Okay. And to the point in some areas, people can't even afford to live in those areas. So, all right. Okay. So yeah, I would, yeah, we'll work on getting your list out, get your mailings out. We worked on your marketing plan, and so I'll call Tim. And as far as, and one more thing about that potential reverse mortgage, if it was a reverse mortgage and they had $100,000 loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they actually record in the beginning, because if they record 100,000, a reverse mortgage actually grows unless they're making payments on it. There's no payments, the interest accrues, right? So even though it says it's $100 mortgage, if it's a reverse mortgage, it might be 200 or 250.
Right. Right.
Okay. But nothing to worry about. You just, you can figure that out. Easiest way to figure all that out is just find out from the borrower, from the seller, from the owner. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And another good thing about identifying these like distressed properties, vacant properties, and sometimes ugly properties is when you get a hold of the owner, they might have some other properties as well. So yeah, you're just looking for anybody that has properties they'd consider selling that you would like to own, for what they owe or more. What they owe or less, something like that. All right, Carol, is there anything else on that?
No, I don't think so. I may actually talk to the owner of this house that I live in, because I think the original owner has gotten old and feeble, and her son is not as, doesn't seem to be as interested in maintaining a rental property. So this one might be one that I could acquire as well.
Exactly. And you can stay there, or you can keep it as a rental. So that's great. So what happened is you turned on your reticular activating system, and now you're starting to see these opportunities because you got clear on your goal, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome, Carol. All right. So yeah, just let those opportunities come to you. All right. They were already there. You just didn't see them.
Exactly.
All right. All right. Who else has a question before I do some deal structuring with Eric? Go ahead and unmute your mic. You can put it in the chat. Damien, did we have any questions in the chat?
Richard, I have a question. Valerie is here.
Hey, Valerie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How is the weather in Texas? Are you freezing?
No, it's actually, everything's melted off and it's really nice day.
Good, good. So I have a question. Do you have any experience dealing with Airbnb properties?
Airbnb properties?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Airbnb is a exit model. It's like, what do you do with the property if you own it? Or it's an investing model or a money making model where it's like, okay, let me go buy properties that would be good Airbnbs, or let me go ahead and rent them and sublet them out as Airbnbs. It's a business. It's a completely short-term rentals is a completely different model. It's a business model, and there's people that figured out how to do it. I would be careful of people that are selling you a course on it unless you know somebody who's can recommend it. Okay. So, the Airbnbs, they had some trouble during COVID in the beginning, right? So what is your question about Airbnb?
I found the house. We spoke, I talked to you about this retiring landlord. She owns few of them, and one of the houses is actually at the location. It's a half river view, and if you do annual lease, it's around 2,300, 2,500. But if you rent the same house as Airbnb, it's like 5,000, maybe even more in the high season here in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do have experience with seasonal rentals. Okay. But also how sometimes you only get it's only occupied half the month.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get $2,500, have it occupied the entire month, or you can get $2,500 having it occupied for 2 weeks out of the month. It's the same. There's more potential because if you get it occupied more than 50% of the time. So I would make offers assuming that you're just going to get market rent, because you can get market rent, but you don't know how much you can get, how much you can keep it occupied, and you have an idea of what you can rent it out for from history. But it's a business. So what did they do to market the property on Airbnb? What did they do to maybe remarket to their existing guests to bring them back? So it's a whole another area that you'd want to become an expert in, or collaborate with someone who, is in the business or has done the business. So
Basically buy it on terms and lease it with a rent to own it, something like that.
yeah, you can sell it with terms. You can sell it on a rent to own. You can just rent it out. You can do short-term Airbnb. So that is one of our exits.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in Florida. So is it on the beach or anything like that?
Yeah, not the beach, intracoastal on the
Okay.
river.
Okay. And the current owner has been doing that?
No, she has been doing annual lease like for 2,300, and the house is trashed now, so it needs some repairs.
Okay. So you were just looking at, is that a potential another exit?
Yeah, I think there is, if I can make like even 4,000 every month doing Airbnb, that will get me great potential.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, how reliable is you got to have a reliable income. So you have to, set things up and learn what you need to do and kind of verify with someone that, has some experience. Like, this is my plan. I'm trying to keep this thing occupied. 80% of the month. Is that to get 4,000? Is that realistic? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on the property and how much, the best thing to do on the short-term Airbnb is to set it up so you have other people doing all the busy work.
Yeah, it's too far away. I'm not gonna be there myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that is a potential exit. But if something happens, you don't have enough income on the property, you still have to make a payment to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more stable to have someone in there who number one is renting it month to month with, for a year or more. And it's even better to have someone in there who's going to buy it, renting it for a year or two. Okay. That is the best exit. Now, how do you increase the income? There's, Airbnb is one way you might be able to get more income on them, but you'd have to do all the research on it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty risky.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's risk. The question is the reward worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's two things. If you go through all that trouble to figure it out, now you have some information. Okay, now I know how to do it, right? Now, when I look at another property, that could be one of your exits. So learning about it and researching it, and it's not my bag of tea.
I see.
I stay in them. I don't do them. So, but yeah, there are some people out there that are really good, but then there's people out there that are selling you a course on how to do it, and it doesn't really deliver because I don't know, they don't teach you enough or whatever. So most people that try it, it depends on how they approach it. I think if you approach it right, you find other people that are doing it, you learn about it, and then you create your game plan on that property. Because you can go on Airbnb and find out what other homes are renting for like that. Yeah. I don't like seasonal rentals because we've bought them before, like on the lake in North Carolina and different things. But as long as you can like double your income for 1/3 of the year or triple your income for half the year or whatever, right? And then you don't have much income on the other side, or you have lower income, you can take that all into account and you just make your offers accordingly. So the biggest thing about deal structuring is know what income you can rely on. You can typically rely on market rent on any property.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, and you're on my schedule today for some private structuring. Okay, you book 15 minutes, but I have a deal structuring appointment which is 30 minutes. So we should be all right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. All right. Okay, good. All right, let's see. Any other questions before we work on Eric's deal? Anybody else? All right, let me go ahead and I will pull up my Eric's UPGs. So okay. Now Eric tells me he doesn't have any private money, doesn't have access to private money. He's not planning on using any private money. So we'll take a look at how he's going to structure. We're going to structure these offers. So I'm going to bring out these two properties. All right, there's a problem with the first one. All right, I'm getting some errors. Let me see why I'm getting some errors. Try it again. Yeah, we have a problem with content. Do you want to try and recover? I guess I'll say yes. All right, and then give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to open up the other one. All right. Eric, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is it okay if I show your deals?
Sure, go ahead.
So one is Bennett and one is Keller.
Yes, sir.
Which one you want to start with?
Let's do Bennett Street first. That's the one I'll RTO.
You'll rent to own.
Right.
All right. So I had some errors come up when I opened this file. I don't know why. So
Well, maybe because I don't have Microsoft Word on my laptop. I have the alternative WPS or something. That might explain it. I don't know.
now this is Excel. Do you have Excel on your laptop?
Well, I have an alternate version of Excel. I mean, it's WPS or something. It's not Microsoft.
Okay, my sharing has stopped. Why did my sharing stop? Because I'm getting some errors on this worksheet. Yeah, okay. So you didn't open this, you worked on this on a different program besides Excel, right?
Yeah.
Getting some errors. Can you get, am I sharing right now? I'm not, right? Okay, you see the UPG?
Well, I see Richard Roop's ultimate profit generator. I don't see the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the UPG, Ultimate Profit Generator. Now, on this spreadsheet right now, I'm trying to enable, let's see, we don't want to enable content, but we do want to enable editing. So I enabled editing and I had some errors. Now, right here, these are the tabs, and these tabs, this is all screwed up over here, Eric. Do you know why this is?
No, I sure don't.
Okay.
I might have to do it on my old desktop where I have the original UPG on it. Maybe that doesn't work so well on the laptop.
Would you have open office?
I'm sorry.
I don't understand the program that you're saying you're using. There's a Open Office is like a free version of Microsoft Office. Open Office, is that what you're using?
It may be. It's on mine. It's called WPS. So I don't know what that.
WPS. I don't know what that is. So what if you need to, you will be able to download another version, a clean version of the software, and then redo it. Let's take a look at your offers. See. All right, your offer number one tab is gone, and your research tab is gone. Eric, does that make?
Well, then
All right.
I'll try to.
That could be because when I open it, it messed up because you worked in a different program. So let me close that one and let's take a look at the other one. See if that one is the same. Okay. Now you have numbers in here, but look, offer number one tab is, I don't understand. It's not showing up. And yeah. Now let me try enable editing. And it's going a little crazy here.
Okay. Well, I'll do them on. Let's see if I can get my desktop up and running where the original UPG software is, and do them there. Get that.
Yeah. Sorry about.
That's all right.
Sorry about that.
Richard, I sent you my UPG file if you want to show some numbers.
If I want to work on yours, right? Okay. All right.
No, I don't insist. I have an appointment with you later.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, this is good. I mean, I asked everybody if they had stuff to go over, and all right, I got your new file.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna open that up. Oh, now I have to maybe close. I have to close Excel down because it first. Let's save. Okay. Now I will open yours. This is in West Palm Beach. I'm thinking about doing a live event there, maybe. I know you want me to.
Cool. Come over.
I'm looking at the resorts in West Palm Beach, Sarasota, the
Mhm.
Ritz-Carlton in Sarasota right now, but
Mhm.
I'm open. I'm trying to get people's feedback. So let me go ahead and show.
Sarasota Ritz-Carlton would be great.
Would it, Judith?
Yes,
Okay. That I
Ritz-Carlton or the Hyatt, either one.
okay. All right. Let's see. Let me share my screen. West Palm Beach. All right. You see my screen there, Val?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to enable editing. And there we're good. And we don't, you guys don't want to, don't enable external content because you don't need to do that. It's not required. And it's, the websites it's pulling from have moved. So I have to, kind of fix that. It's not required for our deal structure, just for some bells and whistles. Okay. So on this one, we go to the main page, we go to the seller page. You don't have anything on the seller page. That's fine.
Loan balance needs to be removed. It's from the other file. It's okay. It's not pulling.
No, it's not pulling.
Mhm.
Kind of notes. All right.
Mhm.
So you have a new deal. It's in Florida. Rent to own exit. 5,000 in repairs. Is it currently vacant, or would it be vacant when you buy it?
It's month to month. I don't think it's gonna be a problem there.
Okay. What's the current rent?
1,300.
How much?
1,300.
And then they're on a month to month.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to put the current rent and then 3 months. Okay. Because they'll take 3 months to kick them out and put someone else in there, or 3 months to change the rent, or 3 months to sell the house to them on a rent to own. All right. So we put this in here because on our costs, we want to see if there's any lost income. So you're saying that the market rent is 1,300, right?
Yeah. So they paying market rent.
Yeah. So we don't have any lost income because
Mhm.
the existing tenants. So that's fine. All right. And then we got income. All right. You think it's worth 150,000. You think it would appraise for 150,000 fixed up.
Mhm.
It would sell it with terms for 159.5. Property taxes are 4,000 a year. Hazard is
Mhm.
only 600.
Yeah.
Is this a single family home?
Yes, it's a little to one, like 800 square feet living area. Very little house.
Okay. You want $1,000 back for market,
Mhm.
15,000 in your pocket extra. And then there's the address. By the way, we can click on this and just Google this property and research it. All right. You're not going to pay any utilities when it's occupied. Everything looks good here. Now on this RTO bill, yeah, that's good. That's good. All this looks good. Okay. All right. So your quick tab is all set up because, of course, we've been working on a few deals, so you're all set up. I
removed commissions. I removed
What's that?
commission. I removed commissions. Please go down. I put none in commissions.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't plan on paying anybody to help you sell it down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got 2,500 there to cover it, and yeah. So that'd be fine. Oh yeah. Because you're also licensed, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But a lot of times we won't have those because one of our tenant buyers will close, and we're closing it ourselves, FISBO, right? All right. So costs look good. We got you set up on that. Your new money, 70%. All right. We got 8% and 8 points. So you're in a position where you could use private money if you needed to, that had some costs associated to it. All right. Your cash offer is pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. All right. Your profit, did you change the profits at all?
Yes, because otherwise the offers did not make any sense.
All right. Well, we'll take, because we've been starting with 9,000 a year and you changed it to 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. All right. You have 0% interest. That's good. And then we have 15, 15, 12, and 12. So you went long term to push the price up. We got a small down and a larger down.
Mm-hmm.
And a larger down. That's good. And then you're giving them the cash flow, rent to own net, because you're pulling out 15. You want to make it attractive to them. So on this, these are all rent to own net. So I make this same as one. Same as one. Okay. All right. And we'll take a look at, looks like you need on the first mortgage, if you only give $5,000 down, you need a $35,000 first mortgage, private money. And let's see, we go to we go to your offers tab. Take a look at the offers. Now, it's worth 150 fixed up, so maybe it appraise for 144. They might net 126 selling it traditionally, with all the normal costs and negotiations and all that. And your offers are all above market value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want me to push your profit back up there, or were you what?
We can try to do that. I wonder why I need 35,000 as a private money. So I'm pulling out 15 for myself.
Here, I'll walk you through that. Okay, you're giving 5 to the seller, 15 to you. That's 20 right there, right?
Yeah. And another 15.
Well, you have your inspections, appraisals. So you got 600 in reimbursed, including your marketing. And then you have some closing costs, which is 3,300, then a couple $100 holding costs, and then $400 to find your buyer. And then you also have 8 points. So that pushes your private money up. That's like 8 points on 30. That's like eight times 30,000 is $2,400. You got about $200 in loan fees in there.
Oh, I see. Which would they charge upfront, right? At the closing?
No, they usually just take it out of loan proceeds. Yeah. So they loan you, they come to the table with, they just take it out of the loan. I mean, yeah, it's paid at closing. So, but yeah, that's the reality. And it gives you some money for holding costs. And yeah, that's what it is. It's amazing because a lot of people don't run the numbers and they don't realize that, you might have all these costs. Now you can avoid some of these costs, but we're prepared to pay the normal closing costs, the normal holding costs. If we reduce this 5,000 to 0, yeah, it reduces about 5,000, a little bit more. All right, so that's easy. Everybody's concerned about private money. Look, if you guys can't go out and find that private money, I will joint venture on the deal with you. I'll get the money and we'll do it that way. You're gonna fund the deals. That's my opinion on it. All right.
What are your terms for financing?
Half the deal.
No, I mean terms for financing, what the interest rate would you charge?
Half the deal. That 8%, if you buy this and you're willing to pay 8% and 8 points, it's already covered. It's free for you. The seller's paying for it.
Mhm.
Okay. So don't rely on me. See, I don't want you to rely on me. That I am considering doing the joint venture, partnership program again, like we discussed, but I'd rather help you be independent, force you to grow and get good and all of that. But I'm working on it. I'm still noodling that. So, okay. Now,
Okay, Richard, here I'm giving the seller 5,000 down.
yeah.
And I need to put a small loan first, like 35,000. How would I justify? Okay, I will say, okay, I need 35,000 first small loan. I'm giving you 5, and I need 30,000 to buy, hold, and sell. They would say it's a lot.
I really, what's the lottery numbers for tomorrow?
Mm. I don't know.
I don't, you don't know. See, look, you think it's an issue. It might become a question, but most of the time it's not a question. So if you go through the paperwork and you say, okay, we have a $35,000 purchase money loan. Okay. And then I'm giving you, right? I'm giving you,
5.
note for 213,000. No, I'm giving you a note for 13. So you lay it out there that yes, they're getting this price, this note, and this down with these payments, but also on the contract, this is a new loan, purchase money loan, right?
Mhm.
35,000. So you just make it a non-issue. You just say, okay, there's a first mortgage, 35,000. That's to fund so I can get, if they ask, it's I got to get the house. I'm going to do some work to the house. I don't know how long it's going to take before it get occupied. I'm pulling out since I'm buying this long-term buy and hold. I'm going to have some operating money so I don't have to flip it. That allows me to pay you this price, right? So I can help you with all that, but I don't want you to use that as something that's going to be you're going to be afraid to make the offer because you're worried about it. Okay. So I'm glad you asked the question. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to, I haven't pulled them off YouTube yet. I do have them in Rupodia, but I haven't unlocked it yet. I want you to go through the 7 videos on YouTube, the frequently asked questions. Okay. There's 7 of them on the secrets of free and clear deal structure. And all of the most and I'm pretty sure we cover this there. But there's going to be other things that you're going to be, well, why would they do that? Or what if they say that? So go through, when you get a chance, go through those, listen to those. You'll love them. It's going to really sharpen your skills. It's going to build your confidence, and you're going to get more deals accepted. And the last thing I want you to do is come across that concern about letting them know that there's a first mortgage for 35,000. You should know why you're doing it. So you tell me, Val, why are you putting 30? Look, you're buying my house. You're only giving me 5,000 down. Why is there a mortgage for 35? Why are you bringing in 35 from another lender?
To put this, to structure this deal, and at the end of the day, pay you the note, the whole price. I have to bring a money partner who insists on being on the first small position.
Okay, so it wasn't about first and second position. So you mixed that up. Okay, it's like, why are you bringing in this? Why is there a mortgage here? So being in second position is a different. It's a different.
Different question.
It's a different question. It's like, why are you bringing in money if you're? Why are you bringing in 35 if you're only giving me 5? So what's the real answer, Val? What's the real answer? What's the common sense answer?
Because I'm going to buy and hold this long term. I have expenses to buy it, hold it, sell it, and fix it. And I want to make sure you are safe. And if I have any issues with the property, let's say the tenants stop paying, I have reserves to cover you. Will that work?
Great.
No?
That is good. You're very good. Okay, so that's great. So, okay, so you did perfect. You just think it through. It's okay. Look, I want to make sure I keep all my promises. You know, I'm buying this long term, so that's why I can pay you this price. And so I need to have, if I'm going to make my money down the road, I need to put some money aside now for any problems, you know, if it goes vacant or if I have additional repairs. Some of the money is for the repairs now, so I'm going to fix it up real nice. Okay. I'm going to have these other costs. It actually cost me a lot of money just to find you and find someone like yourself where we can both, do a deal and win, right?
Mhm.
I think you did perfect there. So think through, because you are raising some operating capital so you can buy it, so you can hold it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Business. And then you have all your expenses, your closing costs, your holding costs, your repairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's good. Plus the money I'm giving you. So, but make it a non-issue.
Okay.
Okay. And a lot of times it doesn't even come up. You do want to disclose it. It's going to be on the paperwork, but you just walk them through it as if it's a non-issue. So it's very common for a real estate property to have a purchase money loan.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually coming from a bank. And a lot of times there's no owner carry back second because there's a bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a purchase money loan, which is what this is 35, is normal. So you just spell that out. And then you spell out the terms of their second. So that's where I would put your focus in on, okay, now here's I'm giving you 5 at closing. So here's your 213, and it's for 15 years, $710, a month, and then a balloon payment of $85,500 at the end. So that's the rest of your money spelled out there, and then just keep going.
Not saying, and you're gonna be on the second position.
You just said there's going to be a first, and then there's going to be them. Yes, you don't have to. A lot of people don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true.
It's all right. And so here's the deal. Take care of them. You have the substitution of collateral. So if you ever did have a problem with the property, you could maybe move them around and protect them, right? So,
Mhm.
so yeah, just take care of them. And if everything went to hell in a handbasket 10 years from now and prices were 80 cents or 20 cents on the dollar or whatever, right? Then you could negotiate with the seller.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. So, and if you couldn't, then what is their recourse? Their only recourse is to take the property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. But of course, we want to make our money. So how much money are you going to make on this? Let's take a look. All right. So you changed this to make $100,000 over 15 years. And you're
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
it's a little house.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good.
For the seller, this retiring landlord, capital gains is a concern. I want to ask how you calculate those. You take for how much they sold and deduct how much they bought it for.
Well, you don't want to have that discussion unless you know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want to go ahead and look that up, just Google it. How are capital gains calculated? I'll explain it to you the way I explain it to a seller. Okay. So, Val, when you sell this property, are you concerned at all about the capital gains? In fact, you told me you were, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, my understanding is when you get that gain, that's when you have to pay your taxes on it. Okay. So
Mhm.
let's say that half, if you bought if your basis is half of the price I'm giving you, and the other half is capital gains, then half of all the money you get is taxable. So half of the 5,000 that I give you, half of that 5,000, you'll have to pay taxes on it the year you receive it. Half of the monthly payments I give you you'd have to pay taxes on the year you receive it. And then that balloon payment, half of that, you'd have to pay the capital gains taxes on that money when you receive it. So that's my understanding is like if I gave you all your money right now and half of it was gain, then half of it you'd have to pay taxes on half.
Basis, you mean for how much they bought it?
Yeah, when they're on capital gains, your basis is, what did you invest? What's your, what did you buy it for? Maybe capital improvements that, it's like, what did you invest? And then everything above that is gain, right? So you buy it for 100,000 and it doubles in value. What's your gain? 100,000, right?
Mhm.
You bought
Yeah,
it
that's
for you bought it for 100 and then you sold it for 200. You have $100,000 gain. So you don't pay taxes on the 200, you pay taxes on the gain.
but it has nothing to do with refinancing and loans. And let's say she bought it for 35, now it's 300,000, but during this 20 years holding, she's refinancing and there is like 170,000 loan. It has nothing to do with the loan, right?
Yeah. I would ask them, do you know what type of, you can't give them tax advice. You can't try and explain things, especially if you don't understand it, right? So, but if you read, it's an installment sale. So what they're doing is they're selling the house on an installment sale. Okay. And so whatever portion of the money you receive from me, which is a gain, which is your kind of your profit promoting it, that you'll have to pay taxes on that gain when you receive it. Percentage is going to be based on your basis and all the stuff that your tax accountant can help you with, right? You don't want to complicate the issue as far as trying to get them to figure it out because you'll just, you might confuse them or concern them. Okay. But you want to understand the basics that of the installment sale. So I'd go to irs.gov. I'd look up installment sales and I would just read what they say. And then you could also, look up articles and stuff. But I try and explain it in a very simple manner. Whatever you've made on this property, above what you have into it, a lot of times you have to pay taxes on it. And it's capital gains, right? And they know this if they're talking about it, right? When we do an installment sale, when I'm giving your money over time, you actually only have to pay the taxes on the money when you receive it. Like if you get money now, you'd have to pay all the taxes this year. But if you're getting money each year, then you only have to pay taxes that year for the money you receive, whatever the taxes are owed. So don't try and figure out what the taxes are owed. Just try and give them the overall concept.
Okay. I just wanted to contrast, like, if you're going with me, you're not paying that crazy 50,000 in capital gain tax. That was my approach.
Yeah, you can't give them numbers like that because you don't know what their numbers are. You could ask him how much, if you sold this property, so you can't even compare it to your price because we're giving them a premium, right? Yeah. So, okay, we agree that the house is worth 150, right? If you sold it, for 150 and you netted, 140, right? Do you know how much of that would be gain? You could ask them that. Well, yeah, but don't just try and keep it simple.
I see. Okay.
Try and keep it
Because
simple.
they were buying for 30 or 10,000 these things, you know?
I know. No, a lot of people that we buy houses from, yeah, they've paid it off. It's free and clear. They bought it a long time ago. They've already written it off. They've already written it off, and it's 100% gain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you can assume, look, if you took tax deductions, you might have a big tax bite here, right? But ask them use the numbers they give you. Don't you give
Mhm,
the numbers.
I
Okay.
see.
And then say, and he told you, this seller told you, I got several. Oh, wait a minute. Was this you or someone else? Where he's got properties he wants to sell now in 1 year and others in another year? No, that was Judith. Her postcards just hit Monday, and she's talking to a retiring landlord, and she did get her list from Listability, and I did talk to Listability about, is there any difference between where
Mhm.
got it, because I talked to her about, you talked to her about it being like the same data. It's a little bit different, and it's easier to sift and sort. So since Judith is in Florida and you're in Florida, and you're getting the list from different places, I'm wondering if that will make a difference at all, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm considering that. But she got like 4 calls on Monday. One of the sellers has properties. He's a retiring landlord, and he wants to sell. He told her that he wants to sell some now and then maybe some more next year because of capital gains.
This is what my retiring landlord doing. She owned 22 properties at one time, you know,
Yeah.
and now she's down to 4. She was selling it, and she said, "I don't want that tax hit in 1 year."
Yeah. All right. Well, now you can buy the rest of her properties right now and spread that out. Hey, here's the question. How long would you like to defer paying those taxes?
Mhm.
Would you like to see, let's see if we could, let's go ahead and set this up to go 20, 30 years.
Mhm.
All right. Now, so you lowered your profit on this, which I'm okay with because there's a lot of built-in profits. The other thing you could do is you could up your profit and then maybe stick with we could do 15 to 20 years, or we can do 15 years across the board with different down payments. That would be an approach.
Mhm.
Now, did the seller tell you how much they wanted for the property, or do you have any idea what they think it's worth?
No,
Okay.
this one, no.
Okay. All right. So the offers look good. What questions do you have on this?
No, I don't have any questions on this.
So we're done. We don't have to do our appointment this afternoon. I get the day.
No, I have other, she owns few properties,
Okay.
and some of them with home equity line. And I wonder how I can make an offer to her. So I got her hot buttons, and I would like to help her. But
All right. What's her hot button?
she wants to be done with being a landlord, and she wants to just help animals buy a piece of land for $60,000 and build like a warehouse there, for animals. Because now she owns the house where she lives, and there are 9 dogs. The house.
Animals. She wants to help animals.
Yeah. And she's tired to be a landlord doing evictions,
That's great. Get her talking about some
I
great.
did, Richard, 3 hours yesterday in person. Can you imagine? I was sitting there, and she was telling me her life. 3 hours.
That's how you buy houses, by the way.
So I'm working the system. I'm meeting her tomorrow at another house, that Airbnb possibility.
Okay. All right. Real good. All right. I'll see if anybody else has got questions. Anything else on that, Val?
No, this is it for me.
Okay, great. All right, does anybody have any questions on what we just went over on Valerie's deal? Or do you have any questions about anything else on your business? Or do we still have Damien here? Maybe not.
Damien left. He has an appointment.
Okay, great, thank you. Hi, Judith, how are you?
Good. So far, I've got 5 calls
Okay, you got 5 calls. Good.
in 2 days.
What's that?
In 2 days.
5 calls in 2 days. Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask me about those calls or share or anything like that?
I have to do the research on some of them and decide. I guess on the one that we talked about yesterday, that sweat equity might be the better choice than a rehab.
Right.
Would you agree?
Well, I told you that's the most profitable exit is to sell it as is to a sweat equity buyer, tenant or term
Right.
buyer.
So I've got to get back to him, and then I've got to do the research on the others and call them, and I'm telling them, yeah, I'm going to be away a couple days, so I'll get back to him next week.
Right. You're going to be out for like
Calls keep coming in, which is great.
well,
Better than when I mailed postcards for other times.
well, what kind of postcards what kind of postcards did you mail?
Oh, I mailed some that say we buy houses, pay cash, all that sort of thing. You know, the standard pre-printed stuff. And I didn't get any calls, and I was mailing to probate people and different things, and I just wasn't getting calls.
Right.
So I like it, the fact that I'm getting calls on this.
Me too. All right. How long ago did you mail probate?
It's probably been a year because I just wasn't getting the calls. I was spending the money, but not getting any results.
Do you
So
have,
I've got-
you still have
I
the
have
list?
probate leads, yes.
Oh, and have you mailed them yet?
No, not with your card yet,
Okay, well, you got to handle the calls that are coming in now first, right?
but I will be sending out another mailing shortly anyway.
Okay, you know what? Probate, we find that they're pretty good to hit with the magic boat postcard in the beginning and then maybe in a year, maybe
Mhm.
then a year. So if you have older probate, how many leads do you think you got of probate?
500 at least.
Okay, yeah, we work that into your marketing plan, okay?
Yeah, maybe 1,000. I might have, I don't know. I'd have to put them all together.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds good.
Some of them are, I have the personal representative is actually filed with the courts. So some of them, of course, by this time may have sold. And then the other ones are pre-probate where somebody's passed away and there's real estate involved, but then somebody else is supposed to be picking up their mail. And so I've got 2 categories.
Where did you get the list?
One was foreclosures daily and the other is probate data.
Okay. So, yeah, we've used US Leads List for inherited properties, and it's always worked pretty good, but I can't, so there's 3 elements of a campaign, Judith. It's the message. Now we know we got a pretty good message on that Magic Boat postcard, right?
Right.
Okay. So we got a great message. Now it's the media it's the postcard. So it's the design as well as the message of the postcard. So so the difference that you've seen, it's a different time. So that could be one thing, but it's a different postcard, and you are using a better postcard, in my opinion, as opposed to these, cards that just look mass produced and they're just like junky or whatever. And then
They were too polished, I think. Too polished.
Yeah, it looks like advertisement. It doesn't look personal. It doesn't come across personal.
Yeah.
Advertisement, and a lot of times the message is it's a bad approach. It's like, I can buy your house in 24 hours. Call me right away. I want to buy your house. So what? Right? So it depends. So it's the message and the approach and the design, right? But so it's the message, the media, and then the market, the list. So you mailed a different postcard with a different message to a different list. So it's hard to compare if the list is good or not. The only way to do that is if there are good sources for probate, and then there's, there are people that are selling you probate, and then maybe they sell it to too many other people. Okay.
Yes, you wonder about that.
Well, you can tell by the results. It doesn't matter if they send it, but if you find out there's a lot of competition or you're not getting any results, then then you got, it's not a good source, right?
Mhm.
That's why alltheleads.com, they have probate lists, and that's Tim Yandel, who also has iNet USA. He's the CEO of All the Leads. And then they have US Leads list, right, which is inherited. Well, both of them limit to 3 or 4 people per area, right, when they go out and build these lists, and that's important. And when I was doing my postcard mailing campaigns from my joint venture partners, we were limiting the zip codes that we mailed to only to one person. We only had, you can have as many zip codes as you want with $1 million postcards, but as long as you're using them, then those are yours, and other people will have to pick other zip codes. So that's what we've done in the past with our mailing service. We have found that having like a couple people mailing to zip codes isn't bad at all. Sometimes it helps. Go ahead.
I've tried all the leads. I've tried US leads list in the past, but they're both more expensive. So that's why I'm using these other sources.
Yeah, and it's not okay, and that's fine. And you got to test those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's more expensive, and it actually works, right? You get calls. So the question is it the list or the card? So I would say mail the Magic Bullet postcard to your existing list and test it, right? But if you mailed to these other sources or you didn't because of the cost, see, someone's selling you cheaper leads that are oversaturated and don't work. What does that cost you?
Mm-hmm.
More.
And of course, there are other people definitely pursuing probate no matter what. So as you say, even if it's a restricted list, there's other people that may have that same list from a different source. Realtors or investors, or whatever.
Yeah, that's okay. When you find a challenge, then it's like, how do you overcome that challenge? But even with other competition, you can still make a gob of money. Okay. Mm-hmm. You just got to make sure that you're getting a good list, right?
Yes.
And the only way to do is test that, get feedback from other people, and don't spend too much money before you decide, is this working or not? So the list you got that you're getting calls on, we've been using that, for 15 years. And there's a lot of places you can get similar types of lists, but if you get them from different sources, it's not always the same list, even though it seems like the same list. Like PropStream has something like a free and clear list. I don't know how they come up with that criteria. But when we go to high equity absentee owners on listability, it's always worked in the past. The only times it's been really a challenge is in very hot markets. So, Judy, are you in Sarasota?
Yeah, I'm in a hot market. Yes,
yeah,
Sarasota.
In a hot market. So we've been tweaking Valerie's, marketing because of the hot market, right? But she's sending out the same postcard, but she got her list off of the public record.
Where is Valerie?
She's in
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach.
Okay, East Coast. Yeah, I'm West Coast.
Yeah, no competition with you.
Right.
So, Judith, you going after absentee owners with a lot of equity?
High equity absentee owners, yes. Cutting it off at basically between 150 500,000 range.
Price range?
Price range.
Okay.
150 to 100?
What?
Okay, so homes in the market value of 150 to 500?
Yes.
Okay. And how many postcards did you mail the first time? 1,000?
Just over 1,000.
Just over 1,000.
Mhm.
Okay. And do you remember how much that cost you? Was it about four?
$438,
Okay, so 43
cents a piece.
43 cents, and that was for the print and mail. Then you had the cost of your list
Mhm.
on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so about 50 cents a piece, right? Which is what we. Okay, good. All right.
And you
Well,
sell
I'll
it
be even
to-
happier when I get a deal out of it, when I close one.
Yeah. Why haven't you, Judith? Why haven't you closed the deal yet? How many offers have you made?
I haven't called the one that called me yesterday. Busy.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Valerie.
Judy, for how long those absentee owners own the place?
I put 5 years and more. So I did
Oh,
put some, other-
5?
yes. I did have some other characteristics in there. No foreclosures, no pre-foreclosures, 5 years plus. What else?
How much equity did you put?
And I was looking for free and clear, but some of them were up to 49% equity.
Mhm. So that was the minimum, right? 49.
Zero.
That's maximum,
We went 0 to 49%.
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Now, did you get that from listability, Judith?
No,
Where'd you get it?
prop stream.
PropStream. Okay.
I did my own search. Because I've got a subscription to it right now, so it didn't cost me anything.
Okay. But are you paying $100 a month or $50 a month?
I have a subscription that expires sometime soon.
Okay. I talked to people that are paying $100 a month there, and they're getting like what 10,000 records, penny a piece or something like that. Okay. Well, that's good. Well, then I'm curious to see your list report of what you actually ordered, Judith. Okay, through PropStream, because
Yeah, I
that,
can give you the criteria, because there were a couple other characteristics that I put in there.
okay, good. No, because that's good. Whatever you did is working, so that's great. Right.
I just have to call with the offers, right? Look at your videos first.
Yes, you do have to actually construct offers, which we started working on, right?
We did one. Mhm.
We did one call to get you all set up, and then we did the one yesterday, right?
Yes.
And then yeah, so construct offers and then present offers. And how many appointments with the seller, meetings with the seller, either on the phone or in the home, do you think you, on average, you might have before you get a deal accepted with that particular seller? What's your expectation?
I expect 100%
100% of what? That you're going to
of
get?
all the leads that came in.
No, my question is, how many meetings will it take for a seller to go ahead and sign a contract?
That I don't have any experience with, so tell me what's average.
The average is 2 or 3.
2 or 3 meetings?
Yeah. If you expect to go to a meeting, present offers, and have them sign, if you expect that, it doesn't happen. More often, it doesn't happen on the first meeting, right? Because these people tend to move slower, and sometimes you might even want to set up the second meeting to readjust what you were going to offer, because you go and you find out it's not what you expected, or there's something, you learn some information where you actually want to adjust your offers before you actually present them. Okay. So you go to a meeting after doing deal structuring, print out some different scenarios that you can refer to when you meet with them, and then decide which one you want to offer, right? And sometimes it has happened where they gave me new information, and I actually wanted to adjust my offers before I presented them. So I just set up another meeting. Or we go ahead and talk about the offers, right? And if they agree to the broad-based terms, Judith, the price, the terms, the monthly, the length of time, right?
Mhm.
Then it's okay. Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and work out the details. And I would pull out an agreement and fill the stuff out on an agreement and go ahead and get an agreement if I could, right? But a lot of times I would just go ahead and gather all the information that I want to put into an agreement and let them know that I'm going to go. I'll put the paperwork together and we'll go ahead and meet tomorrow or next day or whatever, and we'll go through the paperwork. So we'll have the discussion of, okay, are they going to leave the washer and dryer, right? What's the move out date? All some of those finer details once we have broad base agreements. Then I actually like to go ahead and do up the paperwork and meet with them a second time, or do up the paperwork and send it to them and do it over the phone, which is what, a lot of times I do.
And I assume it's best to meet with people in person rather than presenting over the phone, even from the first. Is that correct?
Well, with COVID, I would, if they're willing to meet, I'd give it their option. I definitely prefer, right? I definitely prefer to meet in person and do it in person. But if they're long distance or they don't want to meet, that's fine. We'll do it. Ideally, you do it by Zoom. If not, you just do it over the phone.
Okay.
And then, so the first meeting, then there might be a second meeting, right? And then sometimes, you have to have a meeting. Sometimes they have to check on things, or they have to check with their family, or they have to check with their son, or they have to check with their attorney. I mean, I don't put any pressure on anybody. What my job and my intention when I'm presenting offers with a seller is to communicate the best I can what I'm offering, right? And how it's going to work. I just want to be clear on communication.
Okay.
And make sure that it's good for them, right? If they're trying to do something, like I think Valerie said she had like a home equity line of credit, or if the house is not free and clear and someone's trying to buy another property and they're trying to use this money to buy another house, and otherwise they're going to have to get a loan on the other house. I'll give them enough money down to get on the other house, but then the income from this house is going to help avoid a mortgage payment on the next house. If we're doing something like that, if they're only selling to buy another house, I want to make sure they can get in their next house. Okay. So I want to make sure that whatever they're trying to accomplish, if I buy the house, it's helping them, right? As far as I can tell. So those are some tips. And then, okay, so you haven't made any offers yet. How many offers do you think you have to make in order to get a deal accepted? And I know you're on a short-term goal here, Judith, so I'm proud of you. How many offers do you think you need to make this week?
Well, I've heard you say that 10, you should get one accepted out of 10.
I would
But
make
I'd
it a
like
goal
to-
to make 10 offers, yes.
Like to make it better than that,
Make
but I'm new at it.
better than that?
We'll see.
No, you can get better at that. I think Mark's doing like 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7, or whatever. It's not really the ratio. It's not the number of calls you get. It's not the number of offers you make, right? It's the number of deals that you do. Okay. Because you can make like get only 3 calls from an entire campaign and make only two offers, and buy a house, right? And so the goal was to buy a house. Well, it doesn't matter how you got there as long as you bought the house. Well, that campaign worked because I bought a house, right? So we just know from the averages, if you make 10 offers, there's a very good chance you're going to get a deal. And there's a very good chance you're going to get another one down the road from those, right? That you follow up on. And you get better as time goes on. You learn how people respond. That's why I'm giving you kind of my experience, Judith, as far as your expectations. What do you expect on these different appointments? How long do you think it's going to take? And if you want to get a deal done as soon as possible, then you got to make 10 offers as soon as possible. that's something we can kind of control. It's like, well, I don't have enough calls yet. I don't have enough people. They're not available yet. I'm going to be out of town for a week, right? There's things that are, so it's like, okay, what can you do? Can you go ahead and call some FSBOs, right? Can you call some sellers on, some FSBOs off of sellers or off of Zillow or out of the paper or off of Craigslist? When you're really committed to a goal, then it's like, okay, I'm not going to achieve my goal unless based on where I'm at, I'm kind of off target. I'm not going to hit it unless I do some extra activity. That's what's great about having a very important goal that you're working on. And so Judith, I think it's great that you are taking advantage of all your support. We did the marketing plan. We did the deal structuring setup. We structured offers yesterday. Where you're on the support calls. So that's the type of activity that shows that you're an action taker and that, it's important to you. And that's what gets you, that's what will get you results. Have you experienced that before, Judith, in the past where you got really, where you really went at it 100% and it worked because of the effort you put into it?
Sure, you have to take action to get results, definitely.
And have you ever had a situation where you took the same approach, but it didn't work out? And if not, why? Can you think of a situation like that?
Well, I think just the marketing that I've tried in the past with the postcards, they didn't work out to my expectations. I wasn't getting calls in. Sure, I could be calling out, but I want people to be calling me.
Right.
And I
Right.
like the fact that this postcard has drawn them either through the list, through the postcard, and then now it's up to me to take the next step and get the offers out to the people.
Right. And it's a numbers game. So, if you just make offers. So what happens sometimes is people, they get afraid, they don't want to blow it or whatever. And they delay on making the offers. Is there anything that you know from your history in the past that might be an obstacle between now and closing your next deal? What do you think might come up and rear its head again that maybe we can talk about and knock it out right now?
Well, not having the private money lined up.
Okay.
And yet you said you would partner if needed. And I want to be comfortable presenting the offer to somebody. We went over one deal that I can present tonight. I guess those are the things.
Okay, good. But I do, and this is what I was saying before, it's really important for you to get comfortable with your private lending program.
Yes.
And so you can work it. And working it is just knowing it and letting people know about it, right? So it's important for you to get really comfortable with the program because you will be limited. And like I said, I don't want you guys relying on me. I'm happy to partner on this deal because you're going to lose it if you don't get it funded. But I also know that once you get under contract, that sometimes is a big motivator to just go out and find the money. It's there. It's mostly, but you're right. It's mostly, a lot of times it is an inner game issue. In fact, some people have actually, borrowed money from friends and family and stuff, and their friends and family lost money. So it's like, or they, or it hurt the relationship or something like that. So if I would make sure that we're doing these, very well protected, with lots of equity type of notes, and have it set up with the title company, have an attorney involved, have it done all right, and run your numbers and make sure that the property can afford to take care of that small first mortgage, which it can pretty much. I mean, once you have the confidence and then people kind of know about it, you will have more money than you need, and you can start lowering your rates, offering, at less than 8%. I'm fine with paying 8%. That's usually what we run. But there are people out there who'd be happy with 6% today. I mean, where's the best return you can get, Judith, today on your money? Safely, well secured.
That's a good question. I'm not sure where, because the banks don't offer anything. Some of the stock market's not a guarantee. Real estate's the best source. If people are willing to take their money out of the bank or out of their retirement accounts.
So what's the risk of someone putting their money into real estate?
Could go down, but it also over time it goes back up.
Well, okay.
Typically.
Yeah. It's like, where do you get a good return on your money? Yes, there are some uncertain things, right? And there's some risk and stuff. But on a note, it's written at 8%. It pays 8%. If the person who's paying on the note, you don't pay it, that note accumulates that plus penalties, plus interest. Okay. And if you didn't pay them all their money, penalties and interest, then they can hire an attorney, which would be out of their pocket. So that's a risk, right? And hire an attorney to go foreclose on the property. And then if the second mortgage or someone else took care of them, you would have to pay what they owe them, plus the penalties, plus the interest, plus the cost of their attorney, plus the cost of the foreclosure process. The note spells out that you owe all of that if they have to come after the property. They get the property or they get all their money. Because if it's a low loan to value note, a lot of people are happy to take that risk, because in the worst case, there's a very good chance they'll be made whole. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
If you borrow 80 or 90 cents on the property and the property goes down 20%, right? There goes any equity protection, right? And there's a sale. And then if you didn't take the agreements and they had to hire an attorney and go after the property, they could actually lose money, right? And you could lose money on a small note, but it's a lot safer than with no equity cushion, right? I mean, because what happens on a small note, another way they can get hurt, just so you know, and you don't have to have this full discussion with your client, but if they did not protect themselves, right? And protect their position, then they could lose. Trying to think of the situation. So there you go. There's a way to get 6, 7, 8% on your money pretty reliably. Where else can you do that today? There might be some stocks that pay a certain type of dividend, right? That's pretty reliable. Does anybody else have any input on what are we comparing our private money to? What can we compare it to? Where's a good, safe way to get a good return on your idle cash or retirement funds without taking a bunch of risk? Anybody got any input on that?
Possibly an annuity.
An annuity, yeah, maybe something like that. Yep. I don't know what they yield. That sounds like in the ballpark.
One thing is you're talking, I've been using your script for handling calls, and after a few times I'm getting more comfortable with it and don't even need to read it necessarily. And then with the private lending, I looked at your 3 options and rewrote it so that it fits my personality and covers some of the points in the order I wanted to cover. So now I just need to practice giving that a few times, and it'll become much more comfortable, just like the call handling script is becoming more comfortable.
Good. That's excellent. And then you also have some scripts in module 5 of the Free and Clear Cash Machine on handling objections.
Is there one for script for presenting offers?
Handling objections? Yeah, I mean,
handling objections.
We have a course called Leads to Deeds, which is it's a complete sales presentation, with the seller. on the phone or in the home. But the basics are in module 5 of your free and clear, and how to negotiate with sellers. So yeah, just start with the basics. If you want to get real good, we got all kinds of resources and training, and you might have some stuff in your library I can point you to that you already got, right? But right now, module 5 in the free and clear it talks about negotiating with sellers, and I think that there's objection handlers. We have other programs that on handling objections. So is it a script? There are typical things. So yeah, we've laid it out with leads to deeds as a presentation, right? So these are all the important points that you want them to be aware of before, as you present your offer. Okay. I do it more on the fly. So I kind of drill down into, the benefits to them of, like I was listening to the free and clear or the frequently asked questions that I told Valerie to listen to, 1 through 7. I was looking for something on YouTube and I came across number 5 and I go, let me listen to this again. So I listened to it and it's just really good. And it has this type of, these scripts, that, so if you listen to me a lot, you'll hear my script because I tell you what I say. But is it written down as a script? Some of it is, like the call handling script and I think some of the stuff on handling objections. We kind of script that out. But it's good to have a framework for your sales process. That is very helpful. So that's leads to deeds. Let's see. So yeah, you'll get more comfortable. So that's great. You'll get more comfortable with the scripts and making stuff your own, and you're going to get better and better. Looks like I have a call with Valerie. Is she still here? I have a 4:30 call I got to get to.
Yes, I'm here, Richard.
Okay. You tell me when you want to kick me off here and we'll go do your deal structuring. How much time you want? I think we're about done though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any final questions, you guys? Anything else before we wrap things up tomorrow? Oh, Valerie, you probably didn't know it, but yeah, I do have some group deal structuring scheduled tomorrow. Okay. I went ahead and scheduled group deal structuring tomorrow for anybody, whether they have the UPG or not, because some of the people that went to the boot camp, they don't own the UPG yet. So if they have any free and clear deals they want me to structure, I'll go ahead and do that for them on that group call. And if you have any and you own the UPG, the ultimate profit generator, yeah, you can fill it out, send it to me, and we'll go over it. Maybe Eric, you can get that thing working by tomorrow.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
I resent those to you. So I redid them and resent them to you. So they off the original UPG on Microsoft Word, Excel. So.
Okay, good. All right. Can we do that during the deal structuring tomorrow?
Sure. What time is it?
I think it's at the same time. Yeah. Same time.
4 p.m. EST.
Yeah. It was in the email. Did you get my email that I sent out today?
Yeah, but of course I'm not looking. I just, it's easier to ask you right now than.
Right. I just want to make sure you got the email.
Yeah. That's why I'm joining you here now. Sure.
Yep. So the link, it's the same time tomorrow, and the link is in the email. Yep. And
okay.
I put the link on the bootcamp support site. Okay. I also put the link to next Tuesday's Q&A call, and I also put the link to the Ultimate Training webinar. So that's the kind of the balance of our support for the bootcamp support will be the deal structuring. I might do some more deal structuring if we have some deals to structure, and then a Q&A call next Tuesday, which we can do deal structuring on, and then on Thursday, March 4th, we'll have a training, and me and Mark will decide exactly what's the best thing to cover. We haven't decided that yet. We're still working with you guys to see what you guys need. If you're in coaching, we have our peer group calls Thursday night this week in the evening. And so that's like peer group 3 is at 5 Central, and peer group 1 and 2 is at 6 Central, I believe. So I'll send you an email on that tomorrow, Wednesday. But that's Thursday night. So keep Thursday night open. Peer group is really important to be on those live as opposed to just listening to the replay because it's more interactive. Okay, guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining me. I will wrap things up, and Valerie, I will give me about 7 minutes, and I'll jump on the Zoom for our deal structure.
Great, thank you, Richard.
All right. Anybody wants to say goodbye, you can unmute and just say hello. Thank you, Judith, for that's great stuff. And Valerie, thank you. Eric, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay.
I look forward to your event,
Yeah,
wherever that may be.
yeah, I know. I'm getting you pumped, and you don't even know where is it. When is it? I'll be there.
We don't know anything about it, but I have plans to go.
I'm working on it, so I'll get the word out as soon as possible.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, thanks. All right.